BNSO, BNSO Electronics International. The catalyst for this rise was kind of unknown. There was no catalyst as far as I know. The two things remotely close to a catalyst was the fact that it had a 1.17 million shares float, and also the fact that it was making new highs of the day. So for December 31st, if you had watched it at the beginning of the day, I'll just close up, you can see here, where is it? December 31st, beginning of the day. It's right about here, right about here. That's where the day starts. It made a new high, and then it fell, and that's when you should have been watching it, as it made new highs. And then it kept making new highs right over here. Again, it would have shown up on the radar. And then another important point is it never fell through EMA 10, which is this bottom line. So this is a very, very bullish chart because that happens. Yeah, so you would have listened to every last signal that's popping up. Another thing, a really cool thing you can do is, I would say, open up linear regression. So let me just replay. And basically, linear regression will show you, I'll use, let's say, 50. I'll use 50. Linear regression will kind of tell you, if you have sensitive signals like I do, it will tell you to ignore which signals. And basically, if it has a positive slope, you can ignore the sell signals. I mean, I already showed with the fact that these are red and they're not like fuchsia. You can ignore them. You can actually ignore these signals. And these are lime, and this is dark green. So the lime ones, they're very strong buy signals. So I would have tried to hold on to this. So okay, I guess I could try to include RSI. I didn't think of that. And this would give us some interesting buy and sell signals, I guess. Cool, there's a lot of confluence, as you can see. Cool. Okay, so I'll hit play. And now you can see that it's become way more bullish. Pops up. And the percent move, the first percent move is like up 45%. And it's way outside of the linear regression sell line. So I would consider like selling very soon. Still, it didn't fall. It didn't fall below the threshold for selling. And when it falls below the threshold for selling, you should be selling. One thing to take note of is the fact that there's some you have some price volume divergence over here. So this may be the best time to sell because it's possible that the next line will fall. And that's pretty much what happens. I think the next line, it doesn't go anywhere. So you can see here that the next line doesn't go anywhere. And this can be a really good time to sell. You know what I think is a really good time to sell? I mean, what a really good, strong sign to sell is like, number one, price volume divergence is kind of a signal. You have to be aware of little signals that tell you what's coming. And then what tells me what's coming is this, the price volume divergence, and then also the doji that follows it. And the doji that follows it, there's a lot less volume. So either here or here are excellent sell signals. And another reason it's an excellent sell signal is the fact that it's so above the linear regression line. So really, don't be ashamed if you take profit at any of these bars where it's above the linear regression line. Let's like review that because I want to see when it starts to go far above the linear regression line. Click auto. So right now the price is in the middle of the line of best fit. Okay. Okay, it's still, okay, yeah, actually it did go above the linear regression line right here. And then if I press play, wow, it just shot up through it. So I would be okay with selling at 7.17. You can take profit at these levels. These are good times to take profit. It did go up to much higher, but then at this point there's price volume divergence, and then in the next part it fell. It fell, and there was a clear sell signal over here. Then it doesn't fall through EMA 10, which is a really bullish sign. And another bullish sign is my price weighted volume stays above the dark shaded zone. And I probably would have waited if I were really conservative and I didn't want to risk too much. I probably would have waited, and then for sure, not for sure, but I might have wanted to buy here because one, I'm getting a buy signal. Two, RSI, my RSI MACD is telling me that now is a buy threshold. You could probably buy right now and you'll be fine. Another thing is like price weighted volume it just crossed above another buying threshold. This is like a sign to buy. And then also high-low again is telling me to buy as well. And it's still below the sell threshold for linear regression, so that's another choice. I mean, see, so I've highlighted the ideal buying times. I didn't think this was so ideal because it touched EMA 10. I didn't like that. I thought this was a better buy zone. So what I'm telling you guys right now is like what the indicators are telling me, and you know what I think are the best buy times. So this is a pretty pretty strong buy signal. So that's my algo telling me to buy there, and then you hit play, and then you're getting some price volume divergence. So be ready for a sell. It could be like, it could be the next bar. It could be even this bar. But for now, both the RSI and the algo are telling you to buy and hold. So I'm holding. So 2 price volume divergences. So again, be ready to sell. It's about to cross through the sell threshold for linear regression. And then finally it crosses through the sell threshold for linear regression. So this is a really good time to take profit. But I would have, I mean, like, let's listen to what the signals are saying. So the signals are saying hold and buy and hold, and that's it. I didn't actually change the candle color. I have like a new candle color thing that I can do. I would like to see it. It's pretty cool. Where's that candle color? Candle color, it's right here. So it changes according to my algorithm. Basically, you know what, I like the turquoise color. I think I'm going to change that, but I do like the turquoise color because it reminds me of, basically the advantage of what I just did is the fact that I can use something like Heiken Ashi, but still view the actual candles. So I can change the color to like Heiken Ashi colors kind of, but I can still view the actual candles. So I think some people don't like using Heiken Ashi, but this kind of it's like a midway point. Anyways, so right now the price is at 9.95. It's above the linear regression cell line, and I let's say we're gonna hold according to the algo. Okay, so there's a sell signal. So again, like I said, that was a great time to take profit. There's, you know, one sell signal coming here, and then there's a buy signal. And then here's where the best sell point was. You can see that the sell signals are rising, so, and also the buy signals are rising. So you might want to like hold on to this. You could try to ignore the sell signals, but one thing you shouldn't ignore is the last signal. The last signal is always going to be the most important, especially if you don't get a buy signal afterwards. So consider, like, especially pauses. Like if you get a sell signal and then a pause, you should definitely be prepared to sell, because that could mean for a steeper drop. Sometimes it can mean for, okay, the price will just go back and start, you'll get a buy signal and it'll start touching the upper bands of let's say your Bollinger Bands or whatever it is you use. But yeah, in this case it was a clear sell. Right over here you could see that my RSI MACD is telling me to sell. You could see that price weighted volume is telling me to sell, and yeah, it's in, like, whenever price weighted volume is in this green shaded zone, I'm like allergic. I need to be above. Like, that's just my thing. That's not just my thing, like that actually works. And then also high-low GAN, it looks like if it crosses over, there could be a really big fall. So this was a pretty good time to sell, like that cross during the middle. And then if I hit play, you can see that yes, it was a good time to sell. So yeah, that is everything. I actually wanted to go through what your mentality should be like and what emotions will you have. I feel like if you come into this trade, oh, another thing I had to bring it up. One thing was this BNSO actually acted a lot like RHE, I believe it's called. Is it called RHE? Yeah, it is, RHE. When RHE first rose, I'm going to get rid of these, and maybe I'll get rid of linear regression for a bit. Not for a bit, but for the rest of the video probably. Yeah, so when RHE first rose, it had the pattern or the behavior of a hot stock. And I'm going over time, but whatever. I need to like go over this. I think it's very important. If I pull up my bands and my band and hit count, you can see here that the price runs up, there's a sell, hits the middle of the band, and then it just like rides the wave up. And then that's it. Then it starts to fall and then fall and fall and fall. So you guys need to understand behavior of stock in terms of when it's in an uptrend and when it's in a downtrend. When it's an uptrend, it will gravitate towards upper bands and then maybe bounce off the middle and keep gravitating towards upper bands. This doesn't always happen, but it can. And this is kind of a good time to rise. When you saw RHE, when I saw RHE, if you can see it in one of my last videos, but you'll notice that, oh, I guess I highlighted something. Let's see, auto. Okay, here, check this out. Look at the price behavior of this stock. As you can see, price behavior gravitates to the upward bands, falls down, bounces, goes up, and falls. And then, you know, switches trends. And you can see actually it starts bouncing off the middle line. Well, no, it doesn't bounce off the middle line, but it bounces off EMA 10. So EMA 10 is pretty powerful. EMA 5 is pretty powerful. I like these. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned. I'm going to go over a bunch of stocks that I'm interested in because I've been doing a bit of research. And it should be interesting. Peace out.